Let's see. Let's see if I get the double video here. Yes, we are live. We are live on YouTube, ladies and gentlemen, with our very first episode of the Impact Attack. It is I, Colin Wysong, here with the Vet. And Vet, Big Ray left it just how I thought he would leave it. There's like cum towels all over the place.
Oh,
It smells like Puerto Rican in here. He
oh.
just there's like menudo on the floor. I think that's like beef tripe or beef stomach, whatever, it's disgusting in here.
Puerto Ricans eat that,
Yeah, I guess so. He
and
told me
and
what
they
it
use
was.
and they use towels. Like a tissue's not. I always thought the tissue would be the best because you just throw it away.
Unless I mean, he's
Why
got
would you want that?
towels.
Oh,
That's just
oh,
it's disgusting.
oh, that could stand up on its own.
Yeah, very much
Oh
so.
man. Well, that being said, we're gonna try to make the most of this Impact Attack. We are the new hosts, tentatively, of the Impact Attack. So, for everybody that's been following along with us on the Next Level
Storylines,
Wrestling review,
the storylines at Hamin Media.
yeah, our storylines, yes, we were on the Next Level Wrestling review and we were unceremoniously dumped into the Impact Attack, which is both a disgrace and an honor. So, so, so we're definitely excited to be here, and we've got to take a look at this. We're just jumping right into a go home show for a pay-per-view, Hardcore Justice, with no context whatsoever for anything really, because I'll be honest with you, the most I followed Impact is when my YouTube recommendations show up like a little 2-minute clip. So I was like, oh, I see that person works there. Good to know. So we gave it a shot. You gave it a shot. What do we think, Colin?
Well,
Do you,
I have reviewed Impact in the last year here on the Impact Attack with Hameen one day. But there were people that we were missing, like you said before the show. Like we didn't have Chris Bay. Like we were missing TJP. Like we were missing a lot of their X division. We got a lot of the heavyweight storylines here. It's good to see Insanity on Impact Attack, or no, wait, sorry, no, it's Violent by Design. I apologize, but this is what I imagine Insanity should have been had they let Eric Young
I don't know what you're
kind
talking
of have
about,
more
Colin.
creative freedom.
I think you mean regular Sanity, right? There was no Insanity.
Oh yeah, Sanity, not Insanity. Yeah,
They were perfect. They were perfectly sane, right?
They were perfectly sane.
And then they were gotten rid of, and then they were turned. Then all of a sudden, Retribution shows up sometime later.
Retribution shows up, even worse than what Sanity was. And Eric Young gets his faction here. We've got the Figure Bros going at it in this episode. We've got Matt Cardona and Brian Myers, who apparently Brian Myers is upset that Matt Cardona got the last Ultimate Warrior figure at Target when they went on their figure find, and now they have beef on Impact Attack. There's that's a storyline we've got going on here, Vet. There's a lot that we can find in this show, and we've got Kenny Omega and Don Callis,
the god of pro wrestling, and the god of pro wrestling's handler,
the Invisible Hand.
Well, I would have rather seen. Can you call yourself the Invisible Hand when you've got a graphic that says Invisible Hand, and when you've got like a Tron video that has like the puppet strings? Like, are you still invisible at that point? Or, I mean, I kind of, I don't know a lot about these things, but I will say that I would have rather seen, compared to some of these segments that we saw, I would rather have seen the Target action figure argument than some of these things that some of the pre-tapes and things
They should have pre-taped that and given that to us. Yes, that would have been nice.
That we did see. So there's we'll just say right off the bat that I think we can both agree without having discussed it too much that there's already room for improvement for Impact Wrestling as a television product, as a wrestling company, as entertainment period. So I guess we'll get into it and see what we can help them out with over the course of the next, hopefully, 10-15 minutes, and then we'll be out.
This is going to be the shortest impact attack ever, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one
I
thing
think we should cut it off right here, actually, to be
one,
honest. But let's give it a try.
one thing I dislike, and I don't know if you noticed this, is their camera cuts were really really annoying to me. I there was even one during the tag match. I think not the crap. I can't remember what match it was, but they. Oh no, it was the AC Romero match, the tag match with him and the camera was zoomed out, and then AC Romero goes in the corner to get the tag, and they literally zoom in just on the two hands tagging just for like a split second, and then zoom back out to like the match. And it's just, there's so many like quick cuts, and like they're trying to do too much with the camera, and it's just like, all right, let's just get a couple of stable shots. And it's kind of hard. You and I just came off of watching NXT. We just had Stand and Deliver, a very polished product.
Yeah.
It's to come and watch Impact Attack, and these are
Right.
pre-recorded shows, from what I understand.
Yeah, so they're trying to make the show dynamic after the fact in the editing room. Apparently, is what they're doing. And with all due respect to those guys, they're trying their best, but sometimes it can come off as awkward. I didn't really notice what you said, but there's some things about Impact that have been annoying for a long time that, unfortunately, as I tune into this episode, I see are still the case. Like, for example, one thing I've always hated is the way they do their, like, in the lead in, and when they come out of breaks, they play the theme song like during matches and stuff. Like they'll play like a few seconds of the theme song, and I just think that's so kind of like bush league. I don't. It seems like just a very weak, and I don't know. I don't like that presentation. It's okay if you're like using a graphic or something like coming up next or whatever, and you want to play the Impact theme over that. But when you're in the middle of a match and you take a break and you start playing music, that's. I mean, there's just something about that just doesn't. Do you agree with that? Like, that's not really cool.
No, it's very awkward to just have the music all of a sudden playing, because it caught me off guard. Like Willie Mack was in a hold, and then they just start playing
Yeah.
music, and then it
Little
goes to
guitar riff
commercial, and
comes
I'm
in.
like, like, what's going on? What's going on?
And
These are the things we're gonna have to get used to. It's like when I lived in Georgia, and every day, like there was a military base, so like every day you would just hear sonic booms. So you'd have to get used to like walking outside and just hearing this loud, just kaboom, just in the sky randomly 3 or 4 times throughout the day.
Well, I mean, that's pretty cool, but but I'm not going to get used to this because they like I said, I used to watch Impact every week years ago, and they were doing the same thing then, and nothing has changed. So, of all the things that they have changed, they've kind of revamped the whole look. That's partially due to the COVID situations and everything like that, but also it's just in general, like things look aesthetically different, but they still got that music going into the break and coming out of the break. So I don't know who's in love with that, but I mean, I think it's got to go. We can just throw that out right off the top, and I don't think it'll hurt anybody's feelings, right? Because the person, whoever composed the song, they still get their full play on the intro, So, and it's no one else's entrance theme, so they don't have to get, slighted. It's just, let's just get rid of it.
How do you feel about the intros and the voiceover work? Because one of the things that Ben Hamin really tried to push was to get Big Ray to be the new, like, to put a reel together to be the new like voice guy for Impact. How would you feel if Big Ray was the voice guy for Impact? I mean, seeing how he left the place and everything, look at how, I mean, he couldn't leave Impact any worse.
Big Ray's got a nice voice. I think he could definitely pull that off.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll try to pull some strings with our invisible hands, and if you know any graphic designers that can make us a thing to let everybody know that we're the invisible hands, that would be great.
We are the invisible hands. Let's go on ahead and jump into this Impact Attack with the results of this Impact Wrestling that we watched on April 8th, and we're reviewing on a Saturday, Mania Saturday for that that matter.
These
There.
results of this Impact Wrestling.
Oh, hey, hey, you've got it on YouTube there, sir. We're getting the loop there.
I thought that was muted.
You're terrible at this. This is his first time live, ladies and gentlemen. He's
What?
never wrestled in front of a crowd. He's never.
Okay, Hamin Media Producer of the Year.
Exactly.
Future once and future Producer of the Year. We'll
Once
we'll
and
see.
only.
Hey,
We started the night with a tag match here, a 6-man. We had a lot of tags go for this show. A 6-lady tag match to start the show. We had Havoc, Jordan Grace, and Rosemary versus Alicia Edwards, Nevaeh, and Tennille Dashwood. Havoc, Jordan Grace, Rosemary go over here. This was a fun match. Not really.
Says who? Who said it was fun?
I'm trying to be positive. The first match that we're reviewing here, and I'm trying to be positive on it. Rosemary with the decay stuff. I feel like we should be getting more from Rosemary, and then the rest of the girls in this match. Oh my gosh.
Well, I'm gonna cut him a break because again, I'm jumping into this after not having seen what's been going on, so I'm not familiar with some of these people. I thought Nevaeh was some kind of a lotion or a cream or something like that. I didn't know it was a wrestler. I've liked Rosemary before. I do think the gimmick goes way too far. But at least we didn't get any other dimensions here or parallel universes or anything here. It was just a wrestling match. But I like her theme music. I think it fits. So she's pretty cool. Jordan Grace, not. I'm gonna have to see more. And well, I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Well, she can show you a lot more on her Twitter page and on the internet if you want to see more of Jordan Grace
or her OnlyFans.
Yeah, or her OnlyFans.
How about so Tennille Dashwood? That's another person I'm a fan of. Been a fan of hers ever since she came stateside and did the Emma gimmick. But I haven't seen a lot of her here since she's been to Impact or whatever. But
she
I'm
was
always
dancing like this.
Oh man, wasn't that with the bubbles? Yeah, dun, 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 dun. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Should have had that queued up on the road.
Right. So, well, we'll get it. This is our first show. We're live.
I'll have it queued up.
9 days from tonight.
Okay. All right. 9 days from tonight. So let's speaking of canned audio, let's talk about the crowd noise. So we've got all our all of our wrestling shows for the most part are going to be using the canned crowd noise. Everybody uses it. Even NXT still sweetens it when they've got some people in the attendance.
They were using it before the crowds went away.
Yeah, they right, exactly. So we all know that's been going on. But here the twist for Impact is that they're not going to insult anybody's. I was going to say they're not going to insult anybody's intelligence. There'll be plenty of that. But I mean, but as far as making people think that we've got a Raymond James Stadium full of people here cheering for this show. So what they've done instead is they've gone the other direction and they make it sound like the crowd would be the size of the crowd that would be there if they were there, which is like 50 people. So you can hear like individual canned crowd noise. You can almost, pick out the different hicks yelling stuff. But the problem with that is that it sounds literally like it's in a can. So it's tinny sounding. It's just, this is the worst. We've got to do something about that right away. I'm not just going to sit here and review this show every week if you're going to have canned crowd noise from a can.
We're going to be watching it on mute after a while there, aren't you, Vet?
I almost started, but I thought I'd give it a fair shake. Yeah, so, and you mentioned Jordan Grace. Of course she does a dive. Why wouldn't she? And can I just say that, for D'Lo Brown, who, I love D'Lo Brown, I guess. But can we let the broken half thing be JR's thing and like never say that again? like don't. They were not
from his good buddy JR.
They were not broken in half. They were absolutely not broken in half. They were completely whole. I saw both of them laying there, not in half. Don't oversell it, man. You've already got enough things working against you. We've pointed out 2 audio issues since we started 15 minutes ago. So You know, don't 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 struggle with the uphill battle any more than you have to here. Just take it easy. Take it easy.
Well, you got anything else on this match? We can move forward.
Now let's move forward. But since I was talking about the commentary and stuff, what would you overall think of the commentary? Let's comment on that.
Well, this is my first time with D'Lo and Striker. I like Striker. Again, we talked about this on Next Level with Jargo. I like the Aztec or Lucha Underground stuff, and I liked Vampiro and Striker together. And I like Striker in that aspect. So I already like what he does and what he brings to the table commentary wise, and then D'Lo just throws in whatever. I don't even realize it's D'Lo. Like I don't without him being there like doing the neck thing. It's just another guy on commentary for me who just throws out cliche remarks.
Yeah,
It's Striker's the gem of the commentary. I mean, D'Lo's just there as like a safety net. I feel like
D'Lo's he's kind of Beth Phoenixing it right now. But
yeah, exactly.
I know
I think he's trying to get his footing. He's kind of new to this, but I'm sure he's done this in like indie spots. Because why would they just be like, D'Lo looks like a good choice for commentary. Let's put D'Lo on commentary, and he's like, I've never done it before, but I'll do it. Like.
Yeah, it's nothing I think that D'Lo can't do. The way he's doing it right now, the way he's approaching it, it seems a little manufactured and forced. So he'll get with that. And Matt Striker seems to get like he gets a little bit too comfortable at times, and then starts exposing the business a little bit. But he avoided most of that in this episode at least. Although there is something I'm going to point out later. But I guess we can just move on now.
Well, next we've got the Figure Bros. Matt Cardona was asked his thoughts on Brian Myers rejecting his challenge. He wasn't upset because he said repeatedly he didn't come to Impact to dig up issues with his old tag team partner. Tonight he's got Jake something to focus on. Then we get confirmation that Taylor Wilde is behind the recent vignettes featuring a return/debut in the Knockouts division. Are you excited for Taylor Wilde?
Nope.
Gotcha.
No, absolutely not. Next. No. I don't even remember who Taylor Wilde is. I know who she is, but I've forgotten who she is. So I get it. It's all new to me. I'm gonna be. I guess maybe I am a little excited to see this. It's gonna be a re-debut of sorts.
So how do Matt Cardona and Brian Myers do the podcast while having a feud where they don't like each other on Impact? Talk about keeping it kayfabe, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things I think that it's going to be kind of unavoidable in terms of the way wrestling is now. It's the toothpaste is out of the tube. There's no way you can ever get back to that, really. Like, what would you suggest? Like, to stop doing the podcast for several weeks until your issues are resolved?
They split the podcast. Like, so if it's an hour-long podcast, 30 minutes, Matt does 30, Brian does the other 30. I mean, we saw this with Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano. These guys were roommates, and then when they started having their beef, they like drew the line down the middle of the apartment. Do you remember like these like Twitter videos and stuff that they put out when they started having like their first initial beef when Tommaso just went totally heel all over Johnny Gargano? Like they split the apartment up. They made that part of their outside of the NXT like vignettes. Maybe we get something like that with Brian Myers and Matt Cardona to keep it kayfabe. I love the kayfabe. But come on, you don't keep it kayfabe.
Of course I no, I don't. I'm sorry. No, I can't. But like I said, it's the toothpaste out of the tube. I can't, and now it's on the towel over there in the corner. So.
God damn it, Big Ray. Towel and stuff. We've got Jake something versus Matt Cardona, which ended in a no contest.
Oh, we're just gonna gloss over that Emmy quality backstage stuff with Susie and Deonna Purrazzo.
Oh yeah,
you're not gonna talk about that future
hey.
Golden Globe winning performance by.
I failed to mention at the top of the show, and much like our good friend Matthew Wilkinson, who helped us out with the Next Level Wrestling review, we've got a friend of the show, former WrestleZone writer Mike Killam from ProWrestling.com, who is writing our write-ups of Impact Attack So he felt like that vignette was not important.
Well, then, as just like with Matthew Wilkinson, who helped you out, well, let's make that very, very clear.
He helped all of us out. He is
primarily you,
is a godsend
for all the times you may or may not have actually watched the show. Matthew Wilkinson bailed you out
all the time.
It's like, my notes are right here. You can't see it because of this glare, and that's on. Is it in focus? But those are my what's his name? Kellum? Something Kellum?
Mike Kellum.
Mike Kellum? Yeah, that's my Mike Kellum right there. So don't get it confused. I am the vet for a reason. They don't call me that because I need another nickname. But anyway, yeah, let's go to Cardona and Jake something. What is this? What is Jake something? What is this? What is this gimmick?
I think he was a Diener, and he doesn't have that Diener last name anymore. Now he's Jake something.
He lost the name in a match? Like as a stipulation?
I have no clue. We'll go back and listen to some old Impact attacks.
No. I got time for that.
Nobody got time for that.
That ain't nobody really, as a great person once said, ain't nobody got time for that. But yeah, and I didn't have much time for this match. It was just your typical, Matt Cardona, Zack Ryder. He's a very, like, I enjoy him, but he's very much like as cookie cutter of 2000s era professional wrestler as you can get. Doesn't do anything wrong, but he's obviously a pro wrestler. He just he's got a certain look, and so like I'm glad that he's working steadily, because he should be on TV doing something. But here in this match, it was really more about, not so much about the match, it's more about the post match. That's when we're going to get Brian Myers come down, shove both guys
with the twist here in the post match. We had a twist here.
Yeah, he kind of he comes down the ramp and he shoves both these 200+ pound guys, with one hand each. So we know he's got to be benching like 500 if he can just easily shove two guys like that. Then Myers got to have like a great bench. So
it's from putting up all the toys in his toy collection. You do a lot of up movements and stuff, shoulders and all that.
Or like lifting the boxes when you have to move.
Getting the boxes, picking the big ones up. Yeah, that's a lot of squats and shoulder movements. Yeah, I can see it.
Right. So I mean that was that, and then after the match we get the attack. So I mean after the attack, the initial attack, the shove, then he takes Jake something, and what happens, Colin? What does he do to Jake something?
Oh, we get it.
What does Kellum say to
He tries to drive his eye into the corner of the steel steps. I feel like we just watched this on Raw with the Ojo por Ojo with Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins. But what are they? Are they just watching WWE and being like, it's 6 months from now, people won't remember what they did over there. Let's do that over here. Come on, because there seems to be a lot of that I saw tonight.
There's quite a bit of that, and the thing I don't like about whenever you're doing something like that, when you've got that angle where you're going after like a guy's eyeball or something like that, you can't either his eye is destroyed or it's not. You know what I mean? You don't just you don't get blinded like that and have the put in the weird contact thing and then it just magically gets better one day.
I mean, he literally pulled Rey Mysterio's eye out of the side. It's how can they ever have Rey Mysterio with both eyes?
He pulled a half a ping pong ball with some magic marker on it out of his.
No, that was keeping it kayfabe. Gosh,
I'm just saying, you know what I mean? So in any case, yeah, we're heading for our own. Well, it's not an eye for an eye match; it's something much more traditional. Let's say,
but be an Ultimate Warrior for an Ultimate Warrior match. I want that 1978 Ultimate Warrior. No, I want it. No, yeah, I know. I just pulled a year out of my ass on that one. Now we've got Triple XL confronting Trey Miguel, who is
what? I thought this was. What do you mean? You're talking about when Bronson Reed and Otis ran into Ricochet backstage, right? You wasn't talking about. Who did you say?
Triple XL. It was AC Romero and guy whose name I haven't quite learned yet, and Trey Miguel, uh, who who
Oh,
who has to be sitting over in Impact like, I'm stuck in Impact, and my buddies just won the NXT titles. They won the Dusty Rhodes Classic, baby. Yeah, they run it. They won it. Yeah.
and
So like
you can go back in the archives at the Next Level Wrestling Review and hear us chronicle all of that Dusty Classic.
all of
Be
that
sure to
Dusty
check it out.
Classic. So it's just a continuation here. We've got. Are they trying to make him a single superstar?
Well, I'm sure they must have promised him that, which is what probably would have got him to choose Impact over WWE. That could be the only thing. And here he
Oh,
does.
they were going to totally put him in the cruiserweight division. He'd have been a 205 live superstar.
Yeah, or MSK would be a trio,
Yeah, true.
and they could do
Like New
a,
Day, like
yeah.
I said on Next Level, how they're like New Day.
which you can go back and listen in the archives, or maybe you can't. We'll just sort out the archives later.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so like, I'm sure they promise him that to sweeten the deal, and then here he is. He finds himself. It wasn't that long ago that he signed with Impact, and here we are watching it in this first episode that we're watching, and he's in a feud with a team. So it's kind of like, boy, if only I had two friends to back me up
Two
against
guys
this team.
that were here with me just a couple weeks.
Yeah, wherever will I find them? So
It's a shame.
you sure that wasn't Bronson Reed and Otis?
I knew you were going to say something about Bronson. He was Bronson Reed light.
I mean, he didn't have the Godzilla, so I thought there was a chance, but no, okay.
No, unfortunately not. But we'll get to that match because there was a lot of small guys moving big guys around, and I know how much that annoys you.
Yes, not a
All
fan.
right, so we've got Sami Callihan. Oh, he found a teammate. He found a teammate. We've got Sami Callihan and Trey Miguel versus Triple XL.
I don't think Trey Miguel likes Sami Callihan.
No, I don't. I got the same vibes that you got. I don't think these guys really enjoy each other's company.
There was also before this, there was also a vignette of VBD, which sounds like a disease or an underwear
Venereal
or
disease.
something. But yeah,
Oh man, I got the VBD again, Vet.
right. So I mean, I don't know. So did you catch this vignette or no?
I did. Yeah, I saw this vignette. How he was getting in Diener's face. Really tell it like in the quick cuts again they would like cut to his mouth when he would be like having a consequences, and then cut to his mouth and say consequences.
Yeah, they
again.
would they would do the repeat cuts, almost like
Yeah,
the Spike Lee thing.
There was a lot of adding extra intensity to this thing when Eric Young is a pretty intense person already. Like I'm pretty sure they didn't need those extra cuts because it was pretty intense promo.
Also, it was a little rambly.
Yeah,
Like for something that was clearly edited and produced, and you left in this part where he's just kind of like putting a long tail on the kite, so to speak. Just get to the point a little bit, you know, like this needs to be in and out. For the most part, I'll say that this show did a good job of not spending too long on any one thing. But still here we could have shaved a few seconds off with his rambling promo. And I like
that's why Mike Killam didn't have that in his rundown, because he was trying to save a few seconds of our show. Again, being a godsend, helping us out here. That not just me, he's helping you as well by skipping that mess and going straight into the match that we were just about to talk about with Trey Miguel, Sami Callihan, and Team Triple XL. Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan win the match. That there was. Tell me some of the we're gonna open the curtain here. I need to know some of the psychology behind the frustrated tag. Like I like the dynamic between Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan here. Like what did they work that right? Is that something that you guys kind of like a psychology that you learn in wrestling school that you can teach? Like is that something that you would book in a match?
I mean, you kind of have to call that one yourself, I think. If that's the direction you're going. But that's the thing, like you're gonna see that, like if you're if you're at wrestling school level when you're getting trained, they're not gonna bother to. This is stuff that goes with angles, right? You're not, if you're just learning the basics and then certain mechanics and things like that, you're not gonna be worried about this is how you get your character over when you want to angrily tag somebody. It's not really like that. I'm kind of curious as to what the average person thinks people learn when they're getting trained to be a pro wrestler. Like, I'd be interested in knowing that. But yeah. So for the most part, this is stuff that you call in the back when you're putting your match together. Like, and just like a lot of matches now, most matches, if not all matches, it's heavily called in the back and pre-planned. So you're gonna talk about these things like, and then I'll come up and I'll tag you hard on the chest or whatever. You say, you probably go through, and you might even tag yourself just to make the sound. Like how they like to do like the leg slaps when they.
And then
run
you
through
slap me like this.
Yeah, yeah, and then boom, and then I hit you, bam, and then pow, and then go with the bada bing, and then so that's kind of like. That I don't know. I think it's just you just use your common sense on that. I don't think there's like a universal training procedure for doing that. So so as far as how these guys worked it, I mean, I guess it was okay. I'll be honest, I was zoning out a little bit watching this. It kind of was like
Bronson Reed and Otis weren't keeping your attention during the Sami Callihan Ricochet match.
Not really. And again, it's like this is more for the angle, just like the match with Cardona and something didn't really matter much. It was only there to have an excuse for Brian Myers to come out and shove somebody's eye into the stairs, right? So, which is just weird because there's clearly like they want to do something with Cardona and Myers. So what do? They get Myers into an angle with this other guy, right?
Yeah.
So that's a little bit strange, but okay, I'll just chalk that up to me not following along. And then, with this is a tag match that's really just there to do something with Trey Miguel and Sami Callihan, and it seems as though the Triple XL is an afterthought in this. They're just there because, well, it's a wrestling show and you got to have a wrestling match, but we really just want to do angles. So like I get it, but at the same time, a commentary on the match or a critique or anything like that, it almost seems like superfluous from me. So I don't want to like look into it too much. Like let me judge this match that no one went into putting any real effort into. You know what I mean? Like no offense to the four guys, but when you know that this is business over here and the match is just the stage for the business, you're not going to like try to have a WrestleMania main event on this show.
Is it any safer taking a dive through the bottom two ropes than through the top two ropes, as Sami Callihan did in this match?
No.
I don't know if you noticed that when they did the double dives through the ropes, he kind of went through the bottom two. I don't know if that's like a thing
yeah, or maybe that's the high as he can jump. I don't really know. I'm not for sure on that. I did see that it looked like a little bit awkward for him, and I don't think Sami Callihan would shy away from telling you that he's not the greatest athlete who ever lived. So yeah, but luckily it didn't look like he got hurt. Sometimes when people go through those ropes, they get their feet caught, like maybe by the toes or something, which automatically causes like a fulcrum lever situation where, you
hit it and you just go one way because your feet. Yeah.
Right. So that can be bad. And you got to kind of like, you almost got to remember to like pick your feet up a little bit, like curl your cat, like.
No, I got it.
Like a leg curl. Do a leg curl. Do a leg curl.
Like toe pointed out so that they don't get hung up on the ropes when you're going out. But that's why it looked awkward to me, and I thought it was maybe just because of him going through the bottom two ropes, and I'm not used to seeing that from guys. And it's different, and it's cool. But like now your explanation, maybe he did get hung up on the ropes when he was trying to come out. Now, Vet, I do have a great idea. I'm gonna come out to California. We'll get a couple of really long extension cords. We'll hook the Roadcaster up, and we'll do a vet Billy Eichner style on the street. And you can just run up to people and ask them, like, what do you think happens at a wrestling school? Ah, for $1. What do you think happens at a wrestling school? We'll bring Rip Rogers, and you'll be like, this is Rip Rogers. Do you know who Rip Rogers is for $1? And Rip just cuts promos on people out in the street.
Well, Rip's gonna want the dollar first and foremost. Let's get that straight.
To give Rip $1, do you know who Rip Rogers is?
That's right. Book it, kid.
Yeah, it works. I'm just gonna be running around carrying the Roadcaster under my arm.
Yeah. So one thing I wanted to say too, so I mentioned the thing about Matt Stryker earlier. So they did this thing where the obvious thing was, like I said, between Trey and Sammy, that Trey's not interested in being in a team with Sammy or whatever. So they do the thing where Sammy Callahan comes out, gets his full entrance, then it's Trey Miguel's music comes on, then nothing happens. And then D'Lo Beth Phoenix is like, he's like, where's Trey Miguel? What's going on? A little
they say that the music was queued. Well, the music's already queued up, so it's just gonna play.
Yeah, he said they've already got the music preloaded, right? So it's gonna So this is what one of the things I noticed that Matt Stryker does is he tries to answer the kind of questions that fans say. It's like, well, why would you do this if you do that? Like, he tries to actually answer those on the air. Like, I don't know why he feels obligated to do that. No, you know what I mean? Like, no one's gonna ever just be like, wow, Matt Stryker shut me up. I guess I'll just sit here and watch this quietly.
He's talking to me through the TV. He answered my question.
Yeah. So he does this, and then they just play Trey Miguel's music. They start it again, and then he comes out. So it's like you just buried his save on what happened in the thing. Like, he tried to save what you did and explain it to the audience, and then you so you preloaded 2 Trey Miguel entrances, is what you're saying? That, first of all, let's not even comment on the fact that doesn't make sense. They preload the music. But anyways, nice try, Matt. But just relax and call the show, okay, buddy? And I just want to say, like, I'm a fan of Matt Stryker. I like Matt Stryker. He's a cool guy. He's the only person that I can ever say that I met that actually stopped what he was doing, interrupted himself to introduce himself to me, which doesn't sound like a huge deal, but when you meet as many douches in the wrestling business, you remember the people that, were polite and went out of their way to have manners. You know what I mean? So he was having a conversation with somebody, then he just saw me sitting there and he was like, oh, hi, Matt, nice to meet you. And then went back to his conversation. So he's over with me. But I'm just saying, like, don't try to save these guys when they, just let them drown. Do your part.
Do you have anything else on this match where you think we can move on to?
Let's go.
Well, we've got Chris Sabin defeating Diener.
Wait, kill him. Wait. What about the vignette where Swinger has a casino?
Yes. James Storm with Chris Sabin in the back. They're doing the casino. Johnny Swinger. I didn't get quite what was going on at the end. Just showing him, like, just shaking his head and just. I guess that's a Johnny Swinger thing. But
if that's his thing, he needs to find a new thing. I'm sorry.
I've heard good things about his segments and his vignettes. Like, they're funny. He's good comedic. It's a good throwback. This was a fun little segment. I enjoyed the poker segment.
All right, moving on.
See exactly. That's why Killam leaves it out, because you didn't even have anything that you wanted to say about it.
I don't. Well, anyways, yes, Sabin versus Diener. Just Diener. This is formerly.
Got a hold of him.
He's Diener now. Damn it! This is the former Cody Diener,
formerly known as Cody Diener. He can't use Cody because Cody uses Cody, so he just has to call himself Diener. What do you think? What do you think Eric Young's going to do to him after that impassionate promo that we got earlier to tell him not to come out here and lose, and then he loses to the combination of James Dorn and Chris Sabin?
I don't know. Take his other name. Maybe he'll just come out like, and the Chiron will just be blank. Like this, I don't know. I don't know. Again, I as a new viewer, I can't really speak to some of these ongoing things that's going on. So when I get reintroduced to this Cody Deaner character, now he's lost his first name for some reason. I'm still not sure of the reason. So I just have to, again, kind of take a wait and see approach. But I will say that, like, in the pantheon of those one name names like Cher and Prince, like, I don't think Diener really has the same gravitas as some of like the all-time greats. But I don't know. It could grow on. No, it's not. It's never going to grow on me. Sorry.
Never going to grow on you. I think it would have been better when you were actually watching them and they were like more the redneck gimmick. They were the Daners.
Yeah, I've seen that, and even though that's not my favorite, I can't think of any redneck gimmicks I've ever liked. But as a redneck yourself, what do you think? Do you feel like, yes, representation, or are you like, oh, we're not like this, or is somewhere in the middle where you can take some and leave some?
Well, unfortunately, I'm not a redneck, so I don't really associate with them or compare myself to them. But as working in the restaurant business and seeing thousands of rednecks in my lifetime, they definitely do a really good job of being rednecks. Yes.
All right. Well, that's not what I heard about you, but continue.
Oh, that's not very nice.
I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. I just said that's not what I heard. I didn't say one thing one way or the other. I'm not judging you.
Just because I'm from the South and from North Carolina does not mean that I am a redneck.
You're from South North Carolina.
I'm from the South and from North Carolina. No, look. This is
is the part of North Carolina you're in more south?
No, look. This is how. Look, if you go further south, like where I lived in Georgia, people would be like, "Oh, you're from North Carolina. You're from the North." No. North Carolina is below the Mason-Dixon line. It's a southern state. No, you're from the North. I'm like, do I really have to explain?
How this works? To that person, one block up is from the north. I mean, anything more north than where you're standing currently is north.
Like, Ethel, go read a book. Oh wait, you don't know how to read. This is terrible.
Speaking of terrible, Tommy Dreamer, Tommy Dreamer breaks up the softest argument ever backstage and makes a match out of it. Could this actually, you said there was no TJP, but there was a little TJP here in this soft argument. It was a 3-way soft argument. Tommy Dreamer came in and gently calmed everyone down and decided to make a match. I don't know, if for some reason we're like halfway into the show and Tommy Dreamer shows up as an authority figure and then he's there for kind of the rest of the show. Was that weird? You think you should have established Tommy Dreamer a little earlier?
I think because you and I haven't watched this, he's kind of already established as an authority figure, so it wouldn't necessarily him need to be established earlier. It's kind of like, all right, Tommy's here, we know what's going to happen. But there with Hardcore Justice around the corner, I'm sure you caught the acronym of him being the executive in charge of wrestling or whatever, the ECW, whatever they called it. So they could get the chance of ECW and all that stuff.
I did not catch that. Sorry, I'm too slow. Or maybe I just wasn't paying attention. But I will say that, like, I get what you're saying, that we don't need to establish him as an authority figure starting with this episode. But in the second half of the episode, it's like all Tommy Dreamer making matches and vignettes, which you think you can stretch that out a little bit, like maybe do one at the beginning, a couple somewhere in the middle, then more at the end, rather than like it just seemed like, oh, we forgot to put Tommy Dreamer in. Let's put a bunch of the pre-tapes here at the end. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you could insert them anywhere. It's not like you have to. It's not like you're doing the live show like us. Yeah. So I just thought that was kind of the way it was. No Tommy Dreamer and then a bunch of Tommy Dreamer all at the end. So, and which one of the things is like Eric Young comes up to him. This is my favorite. The line of the show is Eric Young. He's got his, he basically cuts a promo in Tommy Dreamer's face, and they're going back and forth about, basically trying to get to a match, of course. And Eric Young says something to the effect of, "You and your friends are in for a war, and you started it," and then walks away. And Tommy Dreamer's like, "Okay,
Okay.
yeah," which is Tommy Dreamer all the way. That's full Tommy Dreamer.
Are you reminiscing about Tommy Dreamer right now, Vet? Is this a?
It was Tommy.
Are
Well,
we watching the Vet like love, like have love, like these love feelings for Tommy Dreamer?
not really.
You lust for the olden ECW days.
Tommy, no, not
Innovator of violence.
not so much. Not so much, really. Tommy Dreamer was like the talent relations guy when I was at OVW. And so he'd be a guy that you'd see around the place, and how the courtesy is, the protocol is you shake hands with everybody, So even though everybody knows that that's what the protocol is, there were some guys that you just saying like, "Hey, how's it going?" and shaking their hand. It seemed like that was like the hardest thing they ever had to do in their life. So I never wanted to, Tommy Dreamer would walk up to you sometimes and he'd be like, seemed like he's totally cool. And then other times it seemed like, ugh, got to shake this guy's hand. And it's like, what's the difference from one day to the other that you have that attitude? We all know we're all wrestlers. We shake hands. That's the thing. Why are you acting put upon? So it's just kind of
chair shots, CTE.
Yeah, and he's kind of weird, and but everything Tommy Dreamer says is deadpan, so you never really know like what mood he's in, anyways. So I was just kind of thinking about that, I guess. Not so much just like lovingly remembering ECW or anything like that.
Well, you know what you should be excited for?
No.
We're here at the main event. We're almost done, Vet. We're almost done with our first episode of the Impact Attack here on live on YouTube. Can you believe it?
Live on YouTube. Live on YouTube.
Live on YouTube. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so yeah, so we'll skip over the Jazz profile, and we'll skip over more Golden Globe worthy Deonna Purrazzo promo. We'll skip
they're
over,
gonna face each other.
We'll skip over the next Dreamer booking Brian Myers and Jake something in a blindfold match. I guess Jake,
hardcore match.
Right.
And that's kind of when they did the ECW thing, when he was doing the Brian Myers blindfold match gimmick.
Yeah, and so I guess Jake something, before he probably went to the hospital like he should have, I guess he went to Tommy Dreamer to make sure that match got made.
I need a match, please.
It's like, I think you need some help. No, I don't need help. I need a match.
No, Tommy, look, listen. Before I go to the hospital, before I get this fixed, I need a match. Please.
Then Tommy Dreamer's like, "I'm over here."
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. So just again, guys, just watch that kind of stuff. Like he didn't. It was all Jake something was never there. Tommy Dreamer just said that. He just said Jake something came to me and asked for a match. Like did he? It seems weird that he did. It seems like he should have been being attended to immediately if his eye really went into the corner of those stairs, and his eyeball didn't explode.
Well, at least we didn't get the gratuitous referees running down to check on him.
That's true. They barely had referees at all, and that's my best. You're right. That's the best use of referees, to where you don't even notice them. So,
and I did notice. I know WWE refs. We know of AEW refs because they choose to promote them for some reason. But here at Impact, didn't notice the refs at all.
That's right. So that is one. All right. I think we found our most positive aspect of the show so far.
The refs aren't trying to get over because they know they're like, this $50 paycheck, they'll fire my ass.
Exactly. So that's good. That's good.
Just
I like
stay out of
this.
the way and count the threes.
Yeah, we've made progress, and that's exactly what it is. It's not about getting over. You know what I mean? Like, and I that's one of the. There's some. I think the WWE refs are about 50-50. There's the great John Cone, at the top, and then at the bottom, there's that one guy that's the ref in all of Shinsuke Nakamura's matches. And then like in AEW, you've got
The
Aubrey
dancing
Edwards.
ref.
Just like remember when she
Pirouetting to count of three. Let me pirouette
Yeah.
real quick so I can lay down and hit this.
and when
kick out.
she and you remember the time when, like, I don't remember what match it was, but it was like a near fall and someone kicked out on 2.9, and she was like, she counted it, and then she was like, oh wow, how close, just like, get the fuck out of here,
Pulls out a
man.
little napkin like Lacey Evans is like.
Yeah, damn near. That's what I thought. It was really almost like we're exaggerating, but it felt like that could have happened right there in that moment. So the idea is to just be small and do your job. Don't try to get over. You'll have your time to be important, but you're not a star, and you shouldn't want to be a star. And since all the wrestlers are the same size as all you guys now, you could have been a wrestler if you wanted to. So quit putting on the zebra shirt like a coward and not taking bumps. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway.
The vet said that. The vet rants here on the Impact Attack. That might be a segment we bring over from Next Level. We'll let you get your rants in.
I have some things to say about the Undertaker.
That'll be for next week, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, next week.
His Undertaker
9 days from tonight.
on the Undertaker there. We've got Eddie Edwards, Rich Swann, and Willie Mack defeating Kenny Omega and the Good Brothers in a 6-man tag main event. I love Willie Mack. I loved Willie Mack from Lucha Underground. Rich Swann has developed a lot since his cruiserweight times in the WWE. I've enjoyed watching his stuff here, and him being the undisputed. I mean, come on, he beat Moose. He's now the undisputed Impact champion, and he's going to lose his title, I think, this weekend to Kenny Omega or whenever they wrestle. And Kenny Omega's going to be a double champ.
Champ?
Champ.
No, you can't be that. That was trademarked, I think. Well, okay, so yeah, Moose is a guy. He's one of the guys that the only talents I actually look forward to watching in Impact, and he wasn't on this episode, so that sucks.
But you got Eddie Edwards.
So Eddie Edwards looks like, what happened to Eddie Edwards? Is he just decided to let himself go and wrestle in a shirt?
He and Sammy Callahan had some things going back and forth. I think it's development in his character.
Of being a fat slob?
I guess
that's where his character is going. It could be. I haven't been watching, but he looks like he should be like a lot of this match looked like it should be in the main event of one of those feds that runs in like a barn or something, or like an armory or a high school gym, or that's what Eddie Edwards looks like. He should be the champion of that promotion, whatever that is. And nothing against. I'm just talking purely aesthetics here. Rich Swann and Willie Mack look like two guys that were, well, I mean, to a degree, Eddie Edwards as well, just look like, I was going to say they look like they gave homeless people wrestling gear, but Eddie Edwards wasn't wearing wrestling gear, so he just looks like a homeless guy, but his hair was too intricately braided to be like, I don't think a homeless guy has time for that. So it's kind of weird, like you're presenting these guys as main eventers, and like I said, I like Rich Swann, I like Willie Mack. Willie Mack is.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
We're gonna do vet on the street. What do you think homeless people have time for $1?
For $1.
For $1.
Yeah. Yeah, but like the entire idea of Willie Mack seems like somebody's rib, but he makes it work.
He was so good in Lucha Underground. He made it work because he did the Stone Cold gimmick. Like he was the Black Stone Cold. He would stun people and do all that stuff in Lucha Underground. I don't know if he's doing that here in Impact. If he's hitting people with the stunner,
well,
or not.
He's kind of the same, except instead of the Mac, he's Willie Mack.
He's Willie Mack. Yes.
So I mean, it works for him. But in this particular match, this was kind of like, I don't know, was anybody really excited for this main event, like as a main event? I mean, this was like hey, look, Kenny Omega's here. He's going to have a match on Impact. Ostensibly, this is supposed to help Impact to have this guy. And then Kenny gets in there and he does he's got the Don Callis introduction and everything. And then he gets in there and he starts wrestling like we used to do as kids when we were over exaggerating, making fun of pro wrestling with our friends. Like if we're at school and we can't really roughhouse too much, so you stomp when you punch and just pretend. Like that's what Kenny Omega was wrestling like for the first.
You didn't like the segment where him and Willie Mack, where he was like chopping and Willie Mack wouldn't fall over. He was just still just like dazed, and then he'd chop him again, and he was trying to like knock. You didn't enjoy that segment, that part of the match.
I guess it was somewhat reminiscent of like Tiger Mask and Dynamite Kid from the early '80s, in its technical proficiency and execution level. But just overall in general, I didn't think. I don't know. I did this match. If this is the last thing we see before we're expected to pay money to watch Impact for Hardcore Justice, and I'm not talking about us, that's for sure, but just in general, the people who are watching this, it's like this is supposed to get you excited. Like, hey, pay money, watch this pay-per-view. I don't really know if they pulled it off here. I don't know if anything they did is enough to get people to reach into their wallet. But then again, it's hard for me to tell because I'm kind of like not the target audience, not the fan base. So I don't know, how effective this is. Setting aside the fact that we're coming into it, a lot of it out of context. But even so, like we see things in our lives, we see things in context that then make us want to find the context. Like if we walk through a room and your significant other's like watching a TV show or something and you stop and watch it for a second, it's like, I might binge that myself later. You don't know what's going on at the time, but it's interesting enough to catch your attention perhaps. I didn't really get that from any of these vignettes, any of these promos, any of these packages, any of these matches. So what do you think about that? Do you agree? Did anything... Would you say anything captivated you to, other than that we have to for this podcast, would captivate you to continue watching Impact on your own here? What did they sell you on?
Nothing really. Nothing sells me to continue want to watch this. The Kenny Omega stuff is intriguing, and I think business wise they were banking on what would be like the AEW rub of like, all right, we're bringing Kenny Omega over. Maybe the fanboys that love Kenny Omega will come over and watch. But I think Impact TNA, it just has this stink on it that like even the people that watch AEW were like, I won't even go watch Impact, Kenny Omega on Impact. I think they did for like the first couple times that he was over there, and then the ratings dropped again, unless they're watching it like not necessarily live. They're watching it after the fact on kind of like how you and I probably watched it. It's not great, but it's not the WWE shit show. Like right here, we've got a comment here. It's not great, but not the WWE shit show. It's definitely. I'm glad I don't have to watch Raw, and I'm glad I don't have to watch SmackDown. But again, I think it backfired because I think they were banking on again the Kenny Omega fanboys to come over and watch and to really get excited about this feud and try to get some kind of bump. And it's still, 100. They're not even breaking 200 viewers. And their first move to Thursday, because you and I are doing this, and the ratings have already come out. They didn't even do 200 viewers for their debut on Thursday. It was up from what it was on Tuesday, but viewership wise, not where they want it to be. So nobody's watching. Nobody cares about any of these angles. It's not like it was when I actually watched Impact because of the Broken Universe stuff. Like that when Matt Hardy and them were doing the Broken Universe stuff and the Bucks were still kind of there, I was tuning into Impact. Like I was actively going out to watch Impact, and now I have to watch it to do this.
You actively watch Impact.
So the Broken Universe stuff was the shit. Apocalypto was the shit. Like all of that stuff was awesome.
I guess, but I think it's more awesome for somebody that's again inside. You're a fan. You want to see. You want to feel like you're in on the
I have a
joke.
Rosemary shirt on today.
Oh, Rosemary shirt.
Rosemary shirt.
Yeah, you want to feel those fans want to feel like they're inside. They want to feel like they're in on the joke. You know what I mean? But that's the thing. It's not supposed to be a joke. So all that broken universe stuff is a rib, and people found it entertaining, but not mainstream people. Mainstream people don't get it, and mainstream people aren't watching. The only people that are going to watch are the hardcore fans, and I'll be honest with you, the hardcore fans, it's just as easy for them to do what I did, go on the internet and catch this stuff after the fact, and that's not going to be reflected in any of their ratings. It's not going to be reflected on Twitch. It's not going to be reflected on Access TV. You're not going to see any of their viewers. So there's more people watching Impact content than their metrics are tracking, but it's so much like the same way I just casually clicked and watched this episode, I can also casually click and watch Hardcore Justice. And I'm sure that's what they're going to do too. So even their fans won't, support it in real time or with money, but they'll check it out because they like wrestling and it's more wrestling to watch. As far as the WWE being a shit show, yeah, it's but there's something to be said for having like a more like home cooking product like an Impact, where it's a bunch of guys just trying their best, and then there's something that's way too overproduced, way too slick, way too fitting inside of a censorship bubble with with advertisers and stockholders in mind, allegedly. That you're just trying to be too careful and just too clean, and everything like that, and generic. But it is, however, very slickly produced, and it really looks nice. And it doesn't sound like the people in the Thunderdome don't sound good because they're still fake crowd noise, but they also don't sound like they're coming from a literal can. So there's that. I mean, you take the good and the bad with whatever you choose here.
Ay, cabrón! Oh!
Yeah. So even Santos Escobar knows.
He was there. He's like, "Ay, cabron," with the can noises. Like, give me some real sounds that we got going on here. Oh, look,
the pinche can. The
pinche can. Look, the can. I was in an AEW show, and this was when
you were at an AEW show.
This is when they first started doing the first couple Dynamite. So within the first couple months, they did a show in Charlotte, and you could tell, like as an audience member, when they were piping in the crowd noise, because I'm just like, nobody's really cheering, but it's louder in here than what it really should be. And you could tell too, like what's real audience noise and what it was being piped in through the thing. And I'm like, AEW's like just started. Like there's a lot of genuine crowd reaction here. Why are y'all pumping in noise to make it seem bigger than what it is on TV? I think the crowd would get over to whoever's watching at home, kind of the what is going on TV, like the magnitude of what they're seeing, just because of the real crowd noise compared to the canned shit.
Exactly. The audience is your barometer for what's getting over and what's working. So if you drop the ball on something, just let it happened. Okay. Let it be known. They're going to let you know it. But so hiding it with fake noise is not going to help you. You just have to accept that. Just let it be real. Let something in pro wrestling be real. If anything can be real, can it be the crowd reaction? Even if you want to make up a bunch of other weird universes and dimensions and powers and all these other things that aren't real, can we at least let the crowd be real? Can we? Is it too much to ask? So, and the thing about the fake crowd noise is like, it doesn't work because, and nobody was saying, man, I wish we had fake crowd noise, but it doesn't work because in wrestling shows and matches and things, there are ups and downs. No one's going to be cheering the entire time, but when you hear it, when you hear the fake noise, it's like just that white noise, like, the Chiefs just scored a touchdown or something. You know what I mean? It's like, Yeah, and you can't do that when what's going on in the ring does not match that level of enthusiasm. So you kind of have to like, you have to it's easier to just, rather than have those guys, and those guys in the WWE are working hard with their, mixing their levels like up and down, trying to get it to match and trying to synchronize fake 1, 2, 0 counts with the, it's like going to all that extra length. It's like, we know nobody's there. The Thunderdome is just, that's not why your show is bad. Your show is bad because your show is bad, So.
It's definitely not
Main roster
material here on the Impact Attack.
I don't know if they get that joke. I don't know if they get that.
No, they probably
joke
don't
here.
get that joke. No, you have to go back and listen to the catalog of episodes that we left of the Next Level Wrestling Review with myself,
which they can't.
Then there were a couple episodes with Sergio. Oh, poor Sergio. You think he would enjoy watching Impact Wrestling with us?
Probably more than we would, but not much.
not much more.
He's a big Jordan Grace fan.
Oh, he's going to have to fight Jonathan Gresham for Jordan Grace there. But Vet, go ahead and let everyone know where they can find you on social media. And it's very simple, guys. It's very easy. I don't even know.
Why don't you tell him then?
I should just get a pad that just has like what he says. Just go ahead, tell everybody that.
Well, it's @OpinionHaver on all social media platforms, or anything that you can type Opinion Haver into. You'll probably run into me if you go down the rabbit hole far enough. This week, you can catch me on the final Next Level Wrestling Review, tentatively final, with Colin, which has not dropped yet for some reason. I don't know.
It has. It's on YouTube.
Who?
It's on YouTube.
Huh? I got no such notifications that this was the case, but you can go to YouTube.
On YouTube.
It's supposed to be on YouTube. Go check that out. You can also check me out this week on a very special episode of The Destino, a New Japan Wrestling podcast with Jargo, talking about the Stardom, Cinderella Dream something, Yokohama Princess something. And then we also talked about Sakura Genesis from New Japan Pro Wrestling. So we had a great conversation there. And you'll be able to catch me going forward on the Impact Attack right here on YouTube until further notice, when we might get an additional home. So stay tuned for that. And Colin, yourself?
I am. You can find me on Twitter @Colin Weiss. You can find me on Facebook @Colin Weissong. And look, you can find myself and the Vet right here with Jargo for the Next Level Wrestling Review. You see that? We're live.
The proof
Right there. Go watch
the
us.
one thing Colin was ever right about.
Yeah, there's not very often that it happens here. But we're here. The Impact Attack. It's done. It's in the books. I'm gonna have to put some gloves on.
It's ours now. They can't have it back even if they want it.
I'm gonna have to put some gloves on and clean this place up. Get this Puerto Rican funk out of here. Thank you, Big Ray, for leaving your towels here and everything. Just, it's disgusting in here. But like I said, you can find me on Facebook, on Twitter @Colin Weissong. You can also check out the A Show on Patreon. You thought we were going to get out of here without mentioning the A Show, Vet?
Not me.
Definitely not. Nope.
Then you shouldn't have said it.
We've got the A Show. That's not the right time to use that one, was it? Patreon.com/the A Show.
Every time's the right time.
9 days from tonight.
We'll have another A Show on patreon.com/the A Show. Check us out on Twitter @_the A Show, and go and check us out live on Tuesday, where we will have our first guest, Matt McCarthy of the We Watch Wrestling podcast. He's going to come join all the fun at the A Show. Will be live on twitch.tv/the A Show. I believe that's everything. So Vet, if you don't have anything else, I don't have anything else. I say we just go ahead and get on out of here.
Let's do it.
I could just play the Imperium song to get us out of here. I need to load up some more.
We'll take care of that. We'll get it all. This is our first show and we're live. Come on, you don't expect us to be able to deliver a home run right away. I think we hit a triple here though. So we'll see. All right.
Triple. I like it.
Bye guys. Bye everyone.